we on the Éarte? Yes, we are, because that is the name of the show. Welcome, I am Sam DeLev, and this is our Children of Éarte after show, where we stay toasty, warm, and comfy in our studios while our heroes, well, they'll figure it out, as long as those survival checks cooperate. And with me tonight, hoping alongside, are Alicia Marie and Hope LaVelle. Thank you so much for joining me, and please say hello to the people.
Oh, goodness.
Too shy.
I know, we're both like the shyest too, like, no, we don't want to. Okay, I'm Alicia Marie, everybody. You can find me on socials at Alicia Marie Body, and on this amazing show, I get to play Fairuza Armstrong, attorney at law, who is currently undergoing an amazing transformation and learning a lot about herself, as well as this weird terrain and trip they're on. So we'll see. I just want to apologize also because my voice is just going in and out because I'm on the convention crawl this summer. So that's why forgive me for sounding like trying to sound sexy. It's not that.
You are. It may or may not be a coincidental thing, dear viewers, but we apologize for nothing. Your perfection itself. Likewise, your associate, Hope.
Hello, I am Hope LaVelle. You can follow me on Twitter at the Hope LaVelle. You can watch me be a dungeon master on Misfits of Alceta on Wednesdays. And yeah, I am so blessed to be able to play my 80-year-old granny for hire, Miss Robin Beckett, on this wonderful show. And very excited to talk about everything tonight. A lot has happened, and I'm really stressed in the best way.
I can't fathom why.
Right?
Deb, let me tell you something. She's coming for us.
Yeah,
She's
right?
Coming for us lately. What is that?
Full punches. Oh my gosh.
Game masters never give you anything you can't handle. Most definitely, probably. Anyway, our backup characters are great. But before we get too warmed up into the things that are stressing our poor players out, I must reserve the hot seat for tonight's sponsors. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, we're giving away 2 codes, and you can type !code in chat for a free Electrum chest in-game. Die Hard Dice, purveyors of clicky clacky math rocks. Use code Éarte at checkout for a 10% discount, and we will be doing a giveaway in chat during stream, and Sirenscape, because epic games require epic music. And with those warm-ups out of our way, on with the show, albeit with a reminder. You, too, can ask our guests questions like, should I drink the strange mystery liquid? By asking your question with question in all caps in chat. But of course, it is our month of pride, so I am proud to take the first question of the day. Should I drink the strange mystery liquids? No, but seriously, Deborah gave y'all like a very LSAT style puzzle with a mystery as to how to deliver said answer, and while naturally I imagine that puzzle's right up Fairuza's alley, how do y'all approach puzzles like that, especially when you don't know exactly what you're supposed to do with the strange mystery liquid and whether or not it should go in the mouth or definitely not go in the mouth? How do you approach the puzzles?
Haphazardly. Just I don't know. With Deborah's puzzles, it's never as like obvious as it may seem. There seems like there could be a really obvious answer, but then no, there's layers and layers and layers upon it. Don't you agree, Alicia?
Yeah, like the first thing I thought was like, wow, like Deb is really confident about her characters, isn't she? But I do think in general, like she knows us as players, so she knows, like you said, she kind of knows like where she can push the line and she'll take it over the line. So that's why you'll notice all of us, and this is why I thought it was so funny. Like after the stream, I was like, it's funny because all of us were so stumped. Like you saw it in our faces, like maybe we should put all of them in one. But we were also at the same time, there was real fear there because we also know that our characters can get permanently injured. In this particular campaign, they can get permanently injured and you have to work with it. And that was something we knew from like the beginning. So we make our decisions like that seriously. Yeah.
And it's also the fact that, you know, while we're trying to figure it out, we have to remember that our characters have other ways of figuring it out, and you know, how they would handle a puzzle. So it's almost like it's like a layer, like you're trying to figure out the puzzle, then you're trying to figure out how your character's going to figure out the puzzle, you know.
It's like multi-layered. And one thing I'm really happy about is that we do have a team of thinkers, and everybody on our team sort of thinks different ways. You know, Jen thinks different way. Hope, Adam, me. So everybody just sort of has their own sort of way of thinking. And then, like Hope said, how the characters would be thinking in the game. So we're just hoping we actually figure it out. And we're like, somebody, let's get this. So when we see that first crack that something went right, oh, yes. It's so happy.
But you know what? We never get to enjoy it, because I mean, literally, we're like, yes, we figured it out. We got the shard, and then literally the world comes crashing down on us. Like, we don't even have time to breathe, and I love it.
Yeah, it's exciting. You can tell we're really getting into it. And Deb is really getting into it. She likes surprising us. So she's like, you guys like surprises? I got some surprises for you right here on top of your heads. Figure it out before you die.
Yeah, literally.
I find avalanches quite surprising, in all fairness. Do you two feel like you are lined up with how Fairuza and Robin respectively solve puzzles, or is that one of the places where you find yourselves very disjointed from where your characters end up?
Hope.
Yeah, I think Robin has had so much life experience and probably has solved a million puzzles. She loves scavenger hunts. You know, there was this one puzzle that we did on the train where it was scavenger hunting. Like, you know, you find one clue that leads you to another. Yeah, exactly. She really enjoyed that one. But these types of puzzles, you know, she's like a jigsaw puzzle kind of lady, you know. so these types of puzzles like tend to stump her, even if she's, you know, using all of her expertise and life lessons and stuff that she can pull into it. That will also being said, like Hope was really stumped on this one, so it's so that kind of played into how Robin was handling it.
Oh God, I know. I was like, I don't even just so we know that Fairuza is an attorney. I am actually not an attorney. So I mean, Fairuza loves I'm actually not an attorney at law. Fairuza loves puzzles. She likes figuring things out. But the puzzles that she is used to figuring out are like in the human world. So they make to her things that are supposed to make sense. So now it's like you got someone who is, you know, mastered the ability to crack like the human condition in the world legally and put them in a world where none of the things that they figured out and went to school to figure out, none of that works here. So it's okay for me, Alicia, to be kind of stumped because Fairuza's like, I can't apply what I would be able to apply to something like this. So you have to sort of think backwards. And when we think backwards is when we tend to get it right. I don't even know if that makes sense what I just said, but it makes sense to me. And I think that counts for something. Good.
It sounds like an excellent example of backwards thinking, which by that logic is the prerequisite to solving the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one was such a lovely Deborah puzzle because it was simultaneously straightforward. Okay, mystery liquids go by the rhyme.
Yeah.
And then into a proper, I was about to say brick, but I suppose ice wall.
Yeah.
Just to deliver the order, but in what?
I think what really got to me was I forgot we were in a magical world because, you know, still a lot of this stuff feels like Earth, you know, feels very grounded. But the moment that we started pouring all the liquids into a tiny bottle and there seemed to be room to fit, I was like, I would have never thought of that because, you know, that it's a magical thing, you know, we don't really think that way in this game.
That's right. We're trying to pretend it's actually humans transported into like a magical land and having to think that way.
Yep.
I will say that some of the things that stump me as a puzzle solver is I'm probably not even using the term correctly, but what is a red herring? Is it mean something that stands out, but it's not the real thing or something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, something like that. Yeah, and it's an old term, whatever. I'm old, but the fact that we were seeing things that did not matter, like we were like, but the colors correspond kind of our colors, and we were getting thrown off by that. But I think that was part of it. Like, you notice the colors that were in the vial. At one point, all of us were like, well, these colors are sort of our colors. Maybe you're supposed to drink blue and you're supposed to drink yellow and you're supposed to drink, like, we even thought about that. But then when we started drinking them, well, when Silas started drinking them, he started like getting poisoned to death. So we thought maybe that's not it.
That was Robin's fault. I should take responsibility for that.
Sometimes that is the answer. You drink this strange mystery liquids. For what it is worth, gentle chat. On the Éarte cannot endorse drinking the strange mystery liquids.
Not unless you're in we're in the purgatory version of the. Then maybe
if you are in purgatory, all bets are off, gentle Twitch chat. But also, please do tweet at us, get at us on social media. What's it like in purgatory? And do the strange liquids taste like black licorice and make you feel weird emotions? Just for a point of clarity. But honestly, if you're sort of forgetting the magic of the world, that seems in character. Your characters are from here. It might not always, even now, be the closest thing at hand, but you have also been developing a little bit, growing more into those powers from when you were first in the mines and saw the visions of yourselves. You're getting a little closer into achieving or embodying those visions. Where do you think your respective characters are on their journeys? Not like, the journey on the train, but like as people and moving toward that, like, crackle fingers and storm goddess respectively. Wanna lead us off, crackle?
Crackle.
Oh, crackle. I was like, who's
Yeah.
Crackle? Who's like I get it. Okay, go ahead, Alicia.
They were like, that's a loaded question, Sam. But I will say, for Fairuza, I think this is something actually I think I talked about with Lauren. Oh my God, magically she disappeared. I see her magically. God, I feel like I'm talking. Okay, anyway. Should I wait for her to come back? Or should I just keep talking? I can tell you what I did for day. I did today, had for lunch.
I think
this is what I want to know. I want to know what chat would have done with the liquid. Because oftentimes I'm streaming, I can't look at the chat as it's going because I'm highly ADHD and I will be looking at chat and forget the game is going on. But I during that whole play, I really badly wanted to look at chat.
But
we
also have a really wonderful chat who weren't saying anything because they didn't want to influence us if we were looking at chat. So we have a really good chat that's really good about that. But they were throwing out a couple like funny things that were like obviously not to be taken seriously. But yeah, it's
see, I wanted to look so bad. I was like, they know what's going on because we don't.
Wait, you mean God. I wasn't supposed to just take all of the liquids and put them into a birthday cake? I didn't realize those hints were not meant to be taken seriously. But that's such a blessed community reaction.
Yeah, we do.
Honestly, to try to protect y'all from puzzle spoilers.
Yeah,
I love that.
Oh,
we love our chat.
We do. They're like the best. And they find us on all the platforms, and we get to like talk and find out what they thought or what they're thinking about the characters. And it's always really interesting to see that there are people other than us that are invested in what they're doing. So it's really, imposter syndrome and all that stuff.
It's fairly easy to get invested in stories that are entertaining. I'm just saying. But to that end, as you said, across
Mm-hmm.
multiple platforms, we have engagement, and we do
Mhm.
have some questions from Fallen Angel up on Twitter. One of which, with respect to our expository revelations since the last time I saw y'all, to wit, last time I saw you, we didn't know what the Éarte was, and now we
Oh,
do, and goof on it endlessly. I appreciate y'all, by the way. But did it match your theories of what you had before the big lore drops of the past half dozen episodes? Did you have theories about what Éarte might be?
Robin and Hope definitely thought that we were in some sort of in-between world. That was definitely like it all came down to when she saw the train conductor, like his body, like him leave his body. That solidified in her that this is some sort of between life and death is kind of what she was thinking. So literally a purgatory, but not necessarily a purgatory, like a world where rules can be broken. And that's kind of where the magic was coming from. So that was kind of what she thought. And she definitely didn't think that there were other worlds. Like that was completely like, would never have thought that. She could have thought this was it. This is all that you're going to get before you cross over into death or whatever. That was kind of her thinking of it.
what? You thought we were all dying?
Yes.
Oh my god!
I mean, at the beginning on the train, there is a sort of like ghosty vibe interacting with the crew. I get it,
It's
although
true.
bit of a bummer your options. Earth as we know it, purgatory, and death.
Really in between. Okay, as far as Fairuza goes, part of her journey in this is she's different than me in that my natural personality is definitely closer to Nev's. Like just like, okay, let's do this, we lick a doorknob, let me do this. It's definitely more Fairuza is like my younger sister. She's more pragmatic, the law school thing. She's more, you're an idiot. That's my sister. So her journey in this is she was in denial for a lot of it, even when they were being attacked by ice pick monsters and falling down caves and having parties with rats and centipedes. There was still a part of her that was like, maybe this is part of like the trip. Maybe it's like one of those, you can buy experiences for birthday. Like you can buy like experiences now. They're expensive, but you can buy like, I don't know, your friend's 50th birthday's coming up and you can buy it where like they get like kidnapped fake and like thrown in the back of a truck and then they brought somewhere and it's all part of the game. Like she was thinking maybe this is someone's idea of like something I would want,
Is that what they spend experience points on? I was wondering. Experience.
like,
okay, thank you.
Why would they? What is this about? And so because of that, whereas you have someone, like Ned, who was like, party on, she was ready to go no matter what was happening. Fairuza was very much still, this has to end at some point and I have to go back to the life that I've cultivated for myself. This. The moment for her where things started to like look a little different. I'm not saying she completely flip-flopped because no human really does that. There's always that sort of this till they go somewhere. Was when they were in the bottom of the cave and when their initials lit up and all this like change going on. There's a little part of her that made her think, well, maybe this is where I'm supposed to be. But why? I'm not going to think that way. But it was a turning point for her. Definitely a turning point. So, and then all of the changes moving forward, she's grown into them. She's starting to like the fact that she was never the strong girl. She was never the superhero. Oh, no. She's starting to like, she doesn't like what's going on as far as like life or death. Like we're going to get attacked by things, but she never really had like a group of friends like that. She was a loner. She was bookish. And she's liking her little crew and her little family. And I don't want to give too much away because a lot will come out as time goes on that I've planned and stuff. But yeah, she loves like her little family. And that's why you notice she has not mentioned anything about like, well, when are we getting out of here? When are we going to go back home? She's sort of just going with it right now. Yeah.
How about Robin embracing it a little bit more now, embracing the group as a family? Where is she with that? 'Cause I get the impression a bit of a social bird, but not necessarily the same, like, 50 years the same social circle kind of person with the all of the experience. You want to talk about experiences?
Robin has obviously just taken to this world like a fish to water. She's absolutely all in. She's loving this adventure, whether it be scary or not. She has taken to this group absolutely like a family. Within the first few days of being together, something new happened in Robin. Robin has always been kind of, I wouldn't say a loner. She has, she's always been able to make friends and stuff, but she never had anyone really close to her except for Harold. So she's never had kids. All these things that she's kind of lost down on as far as relationships go. So there's something coming out of her that has kind of grown, and she wants to protect these people like a family. She wants to become the protector of the group, and she that's going to be kind of how I might curate my character a little bit as we go on to more protective means of doing things. And there's changes happening to Robin, as there are to all of us, but unlike Fairuza, Robin may or may not like what's happening. So we'll have to see how that develops.
Ooh, there might be something there. Come to think of it, so Fairuza was work focused and career focused and being Miss Lawyer or courtroom focused. So she didn't really focus on relationships other than her bird, who barked like a dog back in New York City. And Robin, she had Harold, but she was sort of like a globetrotter, but she didn't really like pull together like one other person other than Harold. We know Maeve was a loner, except for her best friend, her one best friend, who was always saying, you need to do better, you could better. And he was just like, Silas, because of his criminal past as a felon, isn't he? I don't know. He's kind of a loner. I wonder if there's some, and Neve, she has her family, but I don't know if like outside of like her grandfather, if she really had like a crew of friends. So they're all kind of like from the land of misfits, sort of, kind of. But I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if 47 episodes in, we haven't heard any allusions to Neb's social circle, I think we can draw some of our own conclusions about the presence or absence thereof. Though she did, for a short, beautiful, blessed time, have Wolf Pup. And we love Wolf Pup, and we treasure Wolf Pup. And while Neb had emotional support Wolf Pup, I want to ask both of you, what would your character's emotional support animal be? And Alicia, why is it a moose?
Sorry for screaming. My mic is like, your mic seems a little noisy. You might know it's actually me. It's not my mic. It was now the first thing you think is it would be Frederick, her bird. You know that, by the way, I don't know if I told you guys this. Frederick is based on a real bird, right? That used to bark like a dog. Yeah, it was this woman who I stayed in a bed and breakfast once years ago in Cooperstown, Massachusetts, and the woman who owned the bed and breakfast she said, I have a very loud umbrella cockatoo. I was like, yeah, whatever. Later on in the day, her bird flew outside, and I started hearing this dog barking like crazy. And so I warned her, saying, you need to get the bird back inside. There's a dog out there barking at it. It's going to get the bird. She goes, that's actually the bird. There used to be a dog next door. It learned how to bark like the dog.
Oh my gosh.
So then she says it was Frederick. So that's where Frederick comes in. I loved him. I thought it was funny. So I would say Frederick. But it's the moose only because it's the first thing that she connected to. The first 3-4 episodes, that weird moose appeared when she was feeling like everything was going topsy-turvy, and it made her feel comfortable. So that's why she's hoping she runs into it again somewhere. But she's also
closer to the biome now. There's ice and all that again. And I guess the two of you have, well, knowing Moose, you have rage in common. So there's that.
A raging moose.
Well, we just entered the forest again. I mean, moose, forest, snowy forest. Yeah, very likely. Yeah. Robins, of course, would definitely be a hummingbird. You know, one that just is always perched on her hat or buzzing around her hat. Definitely that's what it would be.
I love a little hummingbird fascinator.
Yeah. It's actually interesting. Hopefully we'll, show in later things, but Robin put on her a shawl that was made by her Aunt Rosie. And that shawl is different mixings of greens and stuff like that. But it has a little brooch thing that keeps it tied together. And that's like a little golden hummingbird pin that keeps it together. So something that might reflect in art later on or something.
Do you have hummingbird earrings on?
I do.
That's so epic.
All right, follow-up question, Hope. Why are you perfect?
I know, exactly.
How can you show us? Oh.
You have no idea. Ever since I created Robin, every time I go to the store, I'm like, oh, hummingbirds.
Okay, that's so cute. People like, and then she starts talking like Robin. Everyone's like, okay.
I do love the notion.
I was gonna say I was amazed that Hope can sing like Robin. Like she can take Robin's like dialect voice, whatever, and actually sing like it. I'm like, wow.
It was quite the challenge, but I really enjoyed it. It was really fun.
Well, to that end, we did have a question from Shalrath about the opening song from Robin and the little song to calm her nerves. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And also, do you sing to yourself when you're nervous?
Absolutely. I love it. I love to sing. It always makes me feel better. I just, with Adam doing all of his like recaps and stuff and making these really cool videos, I just felt really inspired to be like, what would Robin sing about? What would she do? And it's funny, it actually started as a recap. Like I was gonna, Robin will do her own recap where she's singing to Harold about all the stuff that's been going on. And then Fallen Angel, I was telling them about it and they were like, oh, well, you know what? Adam does the recaps. You should do something, a little different. You should make the song about your past with Harold. And I was like, psh, oh, that's so smart. I love that idea. So then it kind of turned into let me share a little bit of the backstory of, Harold and Robin and, and get to know him and then have like a picture of him at the end. And it was just a love letter, to Harold and, being able to slip in that part about like new family and, be able to show that like, I don't know. I had a really good time making it and I'm really appreciative of those who enjoyed it. Yeah.
It was really good. Everyone loves Robin and her relationship with Harold because everybody down inside like wants a love like that with a partner. Yeah. Everyone's like, God, that's why everyone gets so like,
oh.
Yeah, it was really
As I recall, I have in my notes that Deborah would like to marry Robin, have her baby, twin.
Okay, that is
have twin babies. It's a whole thing in itself because and twin headstones at the cemetery, the whole thing, because Robin is simply the most lovable in the whole wide world. And how dare you just absolutely make the most beloved character and then constantly threaten us with her mortal peril, by the way. Just like, I will create the absolutely most delightful, most lovable creature with an absolutely iconic romance, and then I will constantly throw away lines about, well, I'm old, I guess if I have to go, it's better that I be the one. So A question for you, Hope. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you?
You know,
How dare you?
you gotta bring in the humanity to these characters, you know? Just,
Yeah,
that's what you
that's
do.
right. It's like it's the no, I don't want to say the cracks or flaws, but just sort
Yeah.
of like the texture, you know. That's where it really gets interesting because they have a good time. I mean, they're definitely more scared than we are as players. Like we're nervous, but they're terrified. You know, we're sort of like, let's just get through this and not like play ourselves. But I love the fact that every now and again you get glimpses into like who they are. That's like the fun of all of this stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Though, since we're sort of on a bit of a run, Imagine Disc had a question as well. Hope, how did you choose an older character to round out sort of the range of life experience? I know we've talked about this here and there. Was it a party composition thing in addition to some of the reasons that you've described for us as an individual player?
Yeah, I know we talked about this in my solo session, but Robin just came to me. You know, like I had said before, I had an entirely different character made and ready to go. I had already sent off the art, like all of the stuff, like the artist I believe had started drawing, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I had
Can you tell us about it after? I want to hear about this.
She was a very young, spunky teenager. You know, she was like the exact opposite of Robin. And then a couple of things happened, and I was like watching this video, and all this stuff happened, and I was just, wait, hold the press. Oh gosh, Adam, stop the artist. I have inspiration. And I just completely made her within 24 hours. She was completely built. And my other character took months and months of me trying to like figure out how to make her special and cool and all this stuff. And then Robin just kind of happened, and I just fell in love with her so much. So really had nothing to do with the composition of the group. I remember talking to Deb and being like, is it okay that I play an old character? You know, like I wasn't sure that it would be. I mean, she's awesome with everything, but that was before I really knew her. And I was like, this is kind of taking a chance on a little bit of playing an older character. So yeah, I don't know what to say. She just kind of happened. I didn't really think anything else of it except for, oh, here she is. I guess this is who I'm playing.
And she's so perfect. It's like everything about her for like I mean, the fact that she has all this life experience, it's like perfect, like for the group, like the group needed someone. It's like, and you know what? The universe just said, if the inspiration, it said, this is who you are, sweetie.
Yeah. I think that's really another, like Deb is just, again, so amazing to actually let the fact that I have this backstory about a character who's done a lot of things. Like, you know, some GMs might be like, yeah, but you don't have skills in survival, so you might, you know, your character probably wouldn't know all of this and stuff like that. To be more mechanical about it, to just kind of be like, oh, you're ruining my game because now you guys know everything and everything's easy for you. But no, Deb's just like, no, I love that, you know. And she even called, she's like, she messaged me and she's like, does Robin know scuba? She's like, I was like, yeah. She's like, okay, good. She's like, I thought so, but she's like,
and you know about scuba, and Robin, I mean, Hope, you know about scuba yourself, right? No, I thought you did.
I know about climbing and rappelling and caving, but when it came to scuba, I was like, Google, what is scuba?
It was a high pressure situation, indeed.
Yeah.
Played it off.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, she's just, for someone so lovely to come so full form to you as a character concept, it kind of feels like Robin came to you being like, hey, Robin.
Yes, it's like, you're gonna need me. Here I am.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so nice to see a broader range of character age ranges and with more experiences that come with it. I feel like there's literally just adventuring age as being this one narrow range. And so we get to see more life experiences reflected in our Taturpaga stories because we have a character like Robin, and it can be more reflective of our world while simultaneously not being our world at all.
Yeah.
It isn't when we've talked about this before, but like when you're putting together like an adventuring party, everyone like has their in their head idea of what they would like to play, you know. So when you bring it together, you're hoping it comes together and it gels well. So the fact that it did so well was just, I mean, oh my god, everything, everything. And like Silas being the only like, you know, identifying male character jumping into like this pool of like, it's like he's doing very well.
Gosh, he's doing well, and he's trying, and we appreciate him for doing so. But lest we neglect Fairuza, at least
Yes.
I do have questions for you. One of which from Fallen Angel, that emotionally and mentally, Fairuza has gone through a lot in the last 3 stops on this train, with the ice shard in her eye, the mental and emotional connection with the first one, and having the strange dream with the eyes watching the group. Fallen Angel wants to know your thoughts and feelings, and I want to know what it's like being the #1 favorite for everything nasty that requires a wisdom saving throw. It's like the gaming equivalent of when like those people like mosquitoes really like you. Fairuza is that, but for failed wisdom saves. How has it been for Fairuza? How has it been for you?
I have to say is like, yeah, my dice just really hates me sometimes. And it's just like, no, guess what? So like the other players will like quietly roll a dice to see if our character says it or does it. Like it only if I'm on the fence of something, like something that is just completely like antithetical to what Fairuza would do. I'm like, what would she do? And then I'll like roll a d20. I'm like, it's under 10 or over 10. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, yeah, she follows him down. Shoot. And then it's up to Deb to decide like where, like choose your own adventure, where it goes from there. For me, it's difficult because I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do now? What is she gonna do? What's gonna happen? Or I have to figure out my way out of this. And every now and again, I'll have like an epiphany, and that's when I'm happy. Like I'm like, okay. Like one of my epiphanies is when she was in the dark water underneath, and she didn't really know which way was up or down. And I remembered reading something where when you're deeper underwater, bubbles do go up, but they're just small. So they you can feel them though. So I was like, maybe there's a way she can like blow air and like she can tell that the bubbles are going upward. And that's how she knows this way is up, sort of. You know what I mean?
Genius.
Yeah. But I was like, so every now and again, I'll get like a gift from the universe in my head. But then other times, I mean, because Deb, she knows that all of us are down for whatever. So she will literally throw it at us like a bowling ball. And you like she'll be like, yeah, your character has glass in her eyes, so you're going to figure out how she does it. So I was like, the way that I want to do it is I want to play it creepy because I like creepy things. So I was like, let me get my favorite like dark and scary sort of like sayings just for my favorite pop culture things and pepper them in the game and see what the other players do. So it's like a game within the game, sort of, you know. And I got full, you know, Deb was like, just whatever you want, just you know, just let me know like where you're going with it. So I told her, I said, I think I know what I want to do with it. So, but she's the one who set up like the cemetery and Bobby. And I think I brought this up in a chat with when Robin took the snapshot of the poppies in her hand and they were just sticks. That was genius to me. Like when I was like, because I actually felt bad for a minute because I was like, Robin? And you were like, and Robin takes out her camera because I thought I was like, here I am throwing it like a bowling ball at Robin. Or what do you want me to do about it? But you pulled out your camera in perfectly. That was all like not planned out. It just came out that way. And I thought it was fun for me. And for us, it's supposed to be fun, you know. So play the game how you want to play it, you know.
Okay, I gotta ask though. Rolling a die and to see whether you do the bad idea. Have you ever gotten a good roll and been disappointed? Like, oh, I'm going to be responsible and do the non-impulsive thing. And have you ever ignored the good roll? You don't have to tell us for real.
I can do that. Just kidding. I can ignore the good way, but no, I actually I'm one of those people that will just play the dice. So if it's bad, it's just bad. And I feel like some of the best stories do come from just letting the dice tell the story. I will say that Fairuza, it's funny because in the real world, Fairuza is completely straight and narrow. So for her to be tripping up in this world is actually kind of perfect. It makes sense. She doesn't, and she's lost her footing in this world when she had perfect footing in like the air, on Earth, the fairy tale land that is the Éarte. But in this world, the way she thinks isn't going to work as well. You have to think sort of beyond and outward, and that's what she's doing now. So the fact that she loses her footing the most makes the most sense.
That's fair. Although again, those water colors were the most like an LSAT puzzle of any puzzle we've had yet. So maybe not wholly neglecting, but certainly perhaps the biggest contrast between one's Éarte self and one's purgatory. Yeah, one's here self.
That's true. We do. I think like because we're all such thinky thinkers, there can be things that, and we know we do this too, we'll just be overthinking to death. We'll be like, wait a minute. Maybe this is this. But sometimes it's literally right in front of our face, but because we're trying to think outside, we're totally screwing it up.
That makes it so good as an audience, though. It's me, I'm the audience. But I did notice that despite Fairuza on paper, on character sheet paper, I suppose, being built to fight in your solo encounter when the whole party was split, you opted for a little light intimidation. So can you talk a little about the thought process of making that choice in the moment and playing into a social role at such a critical moment without your party when that's, I mean, not necessarily what you were built for, and you didn't know rage would get you advantage. It was a choice that you made in the moment. And please, can you tell us what it felt like then and how you got there?
Oh, you mean with the Yeti that was in her tube? Okay, so Fairuza is a courtroom like lawyer. She does cross examinations, and that's what she does. So I think when she saw the Yeti, she wanted to try out her new ability of just being an imposing presence, because she has the ability to look very, very big and imposing without saying anything more. So she wanted to sort of, what she's doing now is she's trying different flexes. And this was just, I mean, most of her is, Hulk smash. That's what she likes. She's like, I'm getting big. Guess what? It's your turn. But she's like, oh, I have this sort of thing where I can just be like this big presence. I'm going to see if I can do it. And that's all that was. It was literally just, I'm trying a new flavor that I have. But for the most part, let me tell you something. Now that the axe is a storm axe, it's coming down like a hatchet. Which I'm excited about. I'm really excited about the axe.
Do you normally enjoy the fun toys in gaming? Are you a big items person?
I do.
Like this?
I like flavor. I love, and Hope knows this is because we play together in other games, like even at home and stuff. I like melee characters because it's something satisfying about it. It's satisfying.
Oh yeah.
It's hits. A lot of people out there watching agree with me. I agree with you. You're all crazy like me. I know this. But the best part about it is like figuring out what makes that hit different than other, like, oh, this time it's a door, Yeah. That's what makes it interesting. So it's just a change up every now and again.
We had a lovely question from Fallen Angel to that effect, that as Fairuza and Robin's powers have grown, what have been some of your favorite abilities to flavor? I know that I have previously and continue to lavish love on Robin's hearing aid as a flavor mechanism. But what are y'all's faves of the various abilities? And you're getting more and more opportunities to flavor stuff.
Yeah, I think it's so much fun because like I find myself only taking spells if I can justify them with a job that I've done in the past, you know, that Robin's done in the past. So it's been very interesting picking spells for that. But I think my favorite one, besides the hearing aid, I really like that because I actually had not planned for that, and it just kind of happened. I was very excited when I thought of that. But my favorite one so far, I think, has been the vortex warp, and like using Robin's time as like a magician's assistant and like throwing the cloth on the person and be like, ta-da, they're gone. I had a lot of fun with that one.
Gosh. Let's see. Well, previous to this, you know, Fairuza's she's mostly noticed there's her strength and her size is changing. So, but the way that I decided to build it was to just add some more flavor. So she does have a couple abilities that are spell leaning. And I'm liking, of course, because I'm really into superheroes, I love lightning lore. Because the way I'm using it is like she was able to do this, like with her hand in this. You know, if you can imagine you're a person and you're kind of like, she can't rage when she's spellcasting. So that's the only thing about if you build a character of this type, you cannot be like, you can't rage at the same time. But anyway, you throw your hand out and all of a sudden this lightning streak furls from it. And it just snaps around the thing's leg. That just made, it's satisfying like in a rodeo sort of kind of way. So that it's been. I mean, there's the other one she has not had a chance to use yet, but they're only for certain circumstances because if you're casting a spell, you can't do the thing that makes her the thing. You know, no ragey with no spells.
It's nice to use the iconic abilities of one's class, but also it is very, very cool. And I can again confirm as audience, extremely cool to have lightning lure. Come here. Thwonk. That you want to talk about visceral satisfaction. What a combo.
Definitely.
Do you, Robin, Hope, get an analogous visceral satisfaction from things like the vortex warp? I know there's a particular melee brain of hit thing, numbers go burr, dopamine go ding ding ding. That isn't always replicated with spells, but have you found anything analogous or any other particular pleasures of Robin's playstyle as you've been discovering it?
Yeah, I mean, there's to me, there's nothing more satisfying than being able to justify or bring out a past job, you know, a past, you know, experience, even just, and being able to tie it into something like a spell. It's just the chef's kiss for me. I'm like, oh, I get to do this and I get to do this. It's like a little cocktail. I'm just like, so definitely that's like the creme de la creme. I just love being able to use a spell, especially for the first time, and be like, oh, well, I remember back in my day when I did this. And there's suddenly lightning or something. I'm like, oh. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool of me.
You mean there wasn't suddenly lightning when you were doing it as a job?
Gosh.
I wouldn't put it past Robin, honestly.
Yeah, right.
Robin can do anything.
Seriously, she's like, you know, back in my day when I was a circus matador or something, she would just throw it out there, but it fits. You know what I mean? It just like it fits the thing, whatever it is. So it's definitely a part of the game that this particular campaign that we all really like enjoy. You know, to see what else she's done because the rest of us haven't done anything. I mean, you know, in comparison, we're sort of like, whoa. And Robin's like a tank, and she's like 80 years old, and she's like, you know.
Yeah, that's true. How interesting.
Oh my gosh.
How many secrets do you all keep from each other? Just from that, I wonder, because like obviously you each have something that you're kind of keeping in the hopper to deploy at later times, despite my best attempts gentle audience to try to extract
Damn.
all spoiler detail. It's my job. What do you want from me? I gotta try. But how much of it do y'all deploy to each other? Like, I want to do this thing so that you can get into position to support each other. And how much is that anticipation and delight of surprising your fellow players as well? How many secrets do you keep from each other?
I think when it comes to like backstory and stuff, there's a lot that we don't tell each other, just for that, like that factor of like, oh, Silas is a criminal. Like, what?
We didn't know that.
We were all like, what? And
We
when
were
Fairuza,
what?
when Fairuza talked about how she got her hair, I was just like, what? You know, it's just like all these things that we don't know about, but we do talk about our, you know, where we are going with our characters and how we can support each other in that growth of like, oh, well, this physical change is going to be, you know, happening. You may notice it, or your character may notice it, you know, at some point in this time, and they'll be like, okay, I got you, boo, you know, kind of thing. Like, so I would say that's kind of where we're at, right, Alicia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like in general, when you're playing a game like this with people and everyone has like their character, and you want to make sure that when you're playing the game that you give everyone their opportunity to do the thing that they want to do. So we will check in with each other, just make sure, is there something that you think that a moment that you need that you want us to like step back for, without telling us exactly what it is. We do that all the time. We will do that, and that's just because when you're in a campaign, you're working with people. You know, you got to make sure that everyone feels like they're getting to showcase their character, but also have a resolution of a thing, whatever that is. And I know I sound really cryptic, but it basically just means you're looking out for your fellow teammate and making sure they have as good an experience playing as you do, because it's not just about you, it's about everyone who's sitting at the table. So we do like definitely check in with each other.
And this game is so different from other games that I've, you know, been at a table for, like with the fact that, you know, we have been keeping secrets from the audience, you know, like, you know, in a fun way. That it's been one of my favorite parts of just like maybe not in a secretive way, but like, hey, Robin doesn't know what class she is. This stuff is just happening. So not unveiling these sort of things, and like, you know, there might be some physical changes going on that, you know, we're hinting at and growth, and it's kind of fun to see the audience like kind of guess at what's going on or speculate, and it's really fun to see them being able to engage that way. And I know we're getting to the point where almost all the secrets have been unveiled as far as that sort of thing, class and race and or species and whatever. But you know, it's been really fun for me, at least, to kind of give audience little bits of information that they can play with, you know. So yeah, so we'll see what happens as we get towards the rest of it.
Yeah, we were like Hope said, like none of us ever played in a campaign like this. This was entirely Deb's thinking and wanting to do it. And, you know, in the beginning it could have gone either way, because people, when they tune into D&D streams, you know, sometimes they really just want to know what they're looking at, you know, what we play, what's going on. And we weren't sure how it would play with the audience, but the audience liked it because there was enough of the flavoring that made them go, I know what she is. So it became a puzzle for them to try to crack. Like the one thing that because there's different layers to it. There's layers of what Deb knows that we don't know. There's stuff that we know that the audience doesn't know. Stuff that nobody knows but only Deb. So it's, yeah.
I know there were some people whose classes I could catch very easily, very quickly. Some it took me a little longer, and some I just absolutely got flat out wrong until you were like maybe a couple months ago. I got Robin, I was completely on the wrong track for an embarrassingly long time, which is delightful. You were a huge success in that respect. I definitely called it wrong, Nebs, as well.
Oh,
I went in
Really?
wrong for a hot minute until like before the mines. I got there.
Got it.
But if not for certain wild shapes, I would have gone.
Yes,
I would have made a clerical error.
oh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really curious of what you thought Robin was. Maybe
Well, so once I figured out Neb, I made the same error down the line, in
Oh.
part as a function of Robin's personality. There are certain
Yeah.
ways that
Oh.
people are apt to play support classes that I think one can
Yes,
see in the
yes.
personality
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
Robin. And like there are especially at lower degrees of power, one could
Mhm.
say,
Yeah.
it's classes are so much more alike and differentiate more as power level grows. So it was a long standing error, especially since there aren't necessarily as many signature, oh, I know exactly what that is, as
Yeah.
a rage or an
Yeah.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Robin's is a little easier to hide within the kind of veil that y'all
Mm.
used to play. So no, it just purely wildly exposing myself on twitch.tv, but no, didn't get it, didn't even get close, whiffed, slipped on the banana peel, fell on my face,
No.
and had
Oh,
little hummingbirds
Oh.
above
God.
my head.
I love it. And I was trying to be really subtle about it because I thought that'd be fun. But
Mhm.
and even coming down to Robin's spell book being a photo album, it's like
Yes.
making these little changes that might not flat out be like, oh, it's a spell book. Like, no, it's a photo album. It's
That's so cute.
yeah.
It's like perfect.
Yeah.
There's such lovely details as
Mhm.
you move forward and continue to grow into the the versions of yourselves, the heroic ones, the buff ones, the
Yes.
finger crackly
Yes.
ones,
Yes.
all of that. Are there any that you're particularly looking forward to, either as a character sheet, like visceral, satisfying, whack them for many hit points sort of thing, or as a flavoring, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this sort of thing?
Ooh. Okay, so for me, I will say that I mean we knew going in right away that people would know what hers was like right away. So my idea with playing is to play her an annoying version of that, like someone who's has to grow into it, which is like, no, you want that class to roll in like a wrecking ball. But so I was like, so what I have to do is I have to back up and have someone who has to grow into it, which will be kind of interesting for me to play because anytime I've ever played this class, I mean, I know it is, I've gone in like like Leroy Jenkins, that sort of thing. As far as like, there actually is something I'm excited about but it requires levels, a couple of us for me to get there. But there's something in this class that I think is going to be so much fun, especially because I know what I think Neb is. So I'm excited.
Mhm.
I just don't want to I don't want to give too much away because part of the show is having you guys think as much as we have to think with what Deb is throwing at us. So making you guys think too. But there is something I'm really excited about that there's a little synergy that has to happen. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, synergy, you say?
Ned is at home watching this like, huh?
I think for Robin, it's actually kind of the opposite. There's about to be some stuff going on down the line that Robin has to grow into. Everyone is embracing their changes quite well, and as a part of Hope, seeing Robin change, because Hope loves Robin the way she is. She's perfect and I love her and I don't ever want her to change, but characters change, and especially when they're thrown into a magical world where things happen and you develop and you get an arc, and there may be some things that Robin will have to deal with in change and in changing. So she may or may not like it. And that's going to be a very interesting arc, I think, for me to go through, because me and Robin, we're going through it together.
And every single person in the party and every single person in the audience would kill and die for Miss Robin. So I think, however difficult these upcoming changes are, and like, side note, fear. I can think of no one more supported by all of the people around her to help hopefully weather some of those changes, whether or not they are welcome.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's no way, like it's Miss Robin. I don't care what you have to say. It's Miss Robin. Right? Like, I mean, it's no. Like, I did not know. I will say that I did not know that Robin was. I mean, it's basically what it means is she's looking around and seeing like Ned going whatever, and Fairuza and Silas, Maeve, and right now she's feeling weird about her changes. Is that what you mean, or that's what you're saying, or she's
like some changes are happening and she's not really liking it. Like, yeah, the
certainly
minor
her
things.
posture has come
Her
up from
posture-
time to time.
Oh, that one
is you know, it just she's getting old. Who knows? We'll see what's happening. But yeah.
Well, we will have to see, and see we will next week, because that'll do it for us tonight. Of course, do not forget to tune in next Tuesday to watch our heroes camp on a glacier and definitely, hopefully, maybe, probably, possibly not freeze to death. So thank you so much for joining us, Hope and Alicia. It's been delightful to talk to you both. Real quick, tell us where the good people can find you, starting with Alicia Marie.
I don't know if I'm pointing the right way. Am I pointing the right way? Does it look like I'm pointing at Hope?
What are you pointing at?
I'm like doing this because I'm not seeing the screen, so I'm just doing this as if like, what is it, like the Brady Bunch? I don't know where you are. There, wait.
Okay, you want me to go? I'll go. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Once again, you can find me on Twitter at the Hope LaVelle. And again, you can watch me be a dungeon master on the That's How We Roll channel on Wednesdays for Misfits of Alceta, which is a really, really fun show. I think come join us.
I'm so proud of you for doing that, by the way. That's not, it's hard enough to DM, but to DM live.
Yeah.
You should be very proud of yourself. And coming up with a story and leading people through it and having like 15 different. Anyway, I am Alicia Marie. You can find me on socials at Alicia Marie Body. Like I've said in previous episodes, this summer I am on the convention appearance crawl. So I'm all over everywhere. Just got back from Phoenix, Arizona. The next trip I'll be in Washington for Washington SummerCon in Seattle. I'm so excited. End of June, I'll be there for the whole weekend with some really fun costumes. So that's what I'll be doing. But if you pay attention to my socials, you'll see where I'm at. Maybe I'm in a city near you and you can come say hi to me and call me Fairuza.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much. Remember, chat, do not drink the strange mystery liquids, but until such time as they are available to you, we're going to have to go off the Éarte.